with Lungalele Makakula. Good day, Lulu.
Good day, Mguni. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Happy to be with you on the show today. Yeah. What do you have for the viewer today?
Yeah, today on the show we'll be joined by Njabulo Kamete, who's the Trade and Payments Manager, to talk about Nedbank Global Trade. He'll focus on the services provided by Nedbank, the risks associated with purchasing goods globally, and how Swazis can protect themselves and other investment opportunities availed by Nedbank. And later we'll have the Treasury Sales Manager, Toba Kamete, to give us the market analysis. That's it for me.
All right. We also want to look into the latest developments shaping the trade landscape of Eswatini. I will be joined by Zodwa Vilagati. She's the head of handicrafts. We want to explore the recent announcement made by the Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade regarding the establishment of a joint committee to scrutinize the trade balance between Eswatini and India. Now, the significant revelation came directly from the Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Honorable Mangoba Khumalo, who shared this news while extending a warm welcome to 7 artisans returning from their participation in the Surakand International Mela Crafts Fair, which was held in India last month. Today, we unravel the implications of this development and its potential impact on the handicrafts sector in Eswatini. We will also delve into the recent commendation bestowed upon Eswatini by the Embassy of the United States of America. The commendation articulated by Christopher Wall, who is the economic officer at the embassy, highlights Eswatini's remarkable achievements in meeting the requirements of the African Growth Opportunity Act, famously known as AGOA. In this interview with Saneles Bia, I want us to explore the implications of this commendation as well as the potential opportunities it presents for businesses in Eswatini. All of that today on the program. You will be spoiled with all of that information regarding the developments around businesses in Eswatini. So do stay with us. But for now, let's start the show with business news.
Welcome back. There's a critical lack of skill in the air transport industry in Eswatini, and women are not represented according to captains of this industry. This is what has prompted the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa to conduct an awareness on gender equality and available career opportunities for women in the air transport sector at the Happy Valley Hotel at Eswatini.
The main objective of the workshop is to make awareness and promote gender issues in aviation sector, aviation sector is a male-dominated area. Gender is everywhere, so gender mainstreaming should be in everywhere, like aviation sector, aviation sector is one of the most important economic sector, which is male-dominated industry, which penetrates to get equal participation of women, especially girls at school in aviation sector, in different areas, in different sectors in the aviation sector.
Lungile Dlamini, the Director of International Trade, who was representing the Principal Secretary, says Eswatini is ready to work with COMESA to ensure gender equality in the air transport sector.
The aviation sector is one of the things which we aspire as a country, considering we are faced with high levels of youth unemployment. And if we can have our young population considering the aviation sector, it can be a plus for us as a country because it's one of the sectors which is being overlooked. So we say to COMESA, this is the beginning, and if you can partner with the services the services unit within COMESA so that we move the process forward.
Industry leaders in the sector say there is a need for the country to invest heavily on skills.
We have a shortage right now of skills in Eswatini. We have a shortage particularly of pilots as a whole, a shortage of maintenance engineers, whether it's avionics or whether it's airframes, and therefore the shortage isn't just about women, it's an overall shortage, therefore which means you need a representation of all your gender to come into the space.
Thuthukisa emathuba ukuthi emaswati mantombazana angene kule industry yethu ya aviation ngoba emathuba manengi nakhona ukuthi bantu ngoba nje njengalokho ashilo director navula lo mhlangano la ukuthi linyenti lethu sesivele sesiyawuretire lebesitrainwe ngemaSwati sifuna ukuthi kutrainwe labanye kungenele abanye and iyakhula i-aviation industry yakithi.
COMESA has promised to help Eswatini as the country navigates the air transport space to promote gender equality. For Business Watch, Nelswen Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Ezulwini.
A joint committee that will look into the trade balance between Eswatini and India will be considered by the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade. Now, this was said by the Minister for Commerce, Industry and Trade, Honorable Manqoba Khumalo, when welcoming 7 artisans who participated on the Surakhand International Mela Crafts Fair, which was held in India last month. Now, the event was held at the Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority headquarters in Babane.
The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Manqoba Khumalo, has commended India for helping small and medium enterprises in Eswatini.
This particular Mela Crafts Fair is a very prestigious event, and globally it is one of the biggest, if not the biggest in the world. So it really provides a great platform for artisans to, as we've seen, showcase what Eswatini produces from a handicraft point of view, but also learn from others, make new friends, make new relationships, and create new business partners. We also need to look at our trade balance between our two countries. I think this is a conversation, Your Excellency, that is very, very appropriate. We will look at this agreement. I really like this idea that you've floated of having a joint committee that will look at trade between two countries and then crystallize the actual opportunities that exist, starting with handicraft and then moving on to big things, and see how as a country we can facilitate that.
The High Commissioner of India, Ram Prasad, says they are ready to capacitate local artisans.
There are ample training opportunities in the field of capacity building, entrepreneurship, training, and if you want people to come from India here, again that can be arranged. So please let us know your requirements in this regard, and we will be very happy to pass on your request to our in Delhi, and I'm sure they will be able to send some experts. In fact, in the field of high-tech, every year we have 50 slots.
Bawinile Msibi, an artisan who was part of the fair, says she learned a lot from India and the information will help her grow her business.
Sifundzile nje kwakha leminye imisebenzi emtandla lehlukile kunaleli siyakhaka uthini naloko ukuthi ke lendlela nje labaphila ngayo nayo isendile sakubona ukuthi emavela amanye aphila kanjani naloko ukuthi sikhone ke ukuthi sikhulumisane nalabanye emavela asuka la eAfrica lendayo nalemisebenzi yetandla.
The Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade and the High Commissioner have promised to look for more areas of collaboration between Eswatini and India, including a possibility of having a local version of the fair. For Business Watch, Nelswen Dlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 76222000 or dial *007 *3 *7 hash. Or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any Nedbank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
Ujala masada mahle kunathi lesa.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu
Sifile sive sikhulumeni.
Digital helps you make cross-border payments. Human gives you global specialists. Digital allows you to apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Human connects you to credit experts. Digital puts you in control of your money, while Human connects you to wealth advisors. Digital allows you to freeze, unfreeze, cancel, and reorder your card. Human gives you that personal touch. Digital when you want it. Human when you need it. Get the complete private banking experience with Nedbank Private Clients.
Mbukeli, welcome back to the show. We Business Watch powered by Nedbank. Kanti ke Mbukeli sesivele sihlalisane naye Makezodwa Vilakati, long principal handicraft officer lapha etiko letema business nekuthengiselana. Yena ke utawusichazela kabanti ngembukiso lobo 7 lendiya lapho khona eMaswati bekahambile ayokhangisa. Makezodwa Vilakati, asikuvusele sikwemukele kuyo iBusiness Watch.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu kuba nani.
Siyabonga Makezodwa. Makezodwa lona ngumsebenzi lo sowunesikhashana uqalile, mhlawumbe ungamchazela nje umbukele ekhaya ukuthi lo msebenzi lona uqale nini nekuthi umcoka kangakanani ikakhulu kubo bosomabhizinisi labenta imisebenzi yetandla.
Umsebenzi ke ukuthi ama-artisans elive aparticipate kule International Trade Fair lesendiya uqale nga-2020 ngekusitwa ngilo luhovisi lalisebalikhulu wasendiya even la kaNgwane. Lokusho ukuthi ke bese kuya kwethuke noma kuya kwedepartment kwesine shose bekwesi4 and bakhicitile sebahambile sebayenca impela ku20 kusisite kakhulu ngoba nabafika labakhicitile bafike bahlangane nalabanye bosomabhizinisi noma ke bakhicitile bendawo nomsebenzi wetandla bakhona kushiyela naligwayi bakhona kufunza kulinamikhicito yabo labayendako nababuya la ekhaya babuya nemicondo leyo leseyivele seyingileyo leseyishintshile sebalungele vele ukuthi nabo bakhe imisebenzi ledzingwa ngiyo le market yemave angeshiya kwetulwandle.
Makezodwa bayaye bakhale bosomabhizinisi labancane ngekweukuthi ukhanza ukuthi kule mibukiso le kanjena ukhanza ukuthi khamba abantu banye engabelana nikhetha kanjani vele labatawuhamba baye kule Mela Fair.
Awungumbuto lomuhle kakhulu loyo dzadzewetfu. Ngalana kamsebenzi wetandla sinendlela yetfu yekuthi sibe nekubakhetha njengoba phela utawukwati ukuthi sihlangothi lemsebenzi wetandla sine database yabo bonke abakhiciti bemsebenzi wetandla eveni laKangwane. Lokusho ukuthi ke ngenhlangano ngemakethe sinayo idatabase yabo siyakhona lokho bese sesiyaphika ke jake kuya ngalokuthi lo muntu unesandla lesihle kanganani asithathe noma ngangibani sibuka lesandla ekuthenini singilo selesihleni ukuthi imkhicito yakhe ingileyo lesezingeni bese siyakhona ke ukuthi sesiyamphika siyade ukuthi nale utawufike abe neliso lekubuka imisebenzi leyentiwako bese uyakhona kubuya nayo phithe sekuyasetshenzwa kwanza lemsebenzi yetandla noma kuba nevariety yemsebenzi yetandla leminingi.
Nisahamba nisaya kulo mbukiso waseveni lase-India. Kukhona yini lo ngathi nibuya nako mhlawumbe lokufika la ekhaya bese kuyabathuthukisa labo somabhizinisi labancane kungabashiyi nje banjengayitolo ukuthi saya e-India but nasibuya siyabuya sichubeke sisebenze njengalendlela besisebenza ngayo.
Kuyabasita kakhulu dzadzewethu kuya kuloya mbukiso ngoba nababuya le babuya nemicondvo lemisha labayitholako kulabo somabhizinisi labahlangene nabo le khonako ukuthi babuye bathuthukise ngayo lemisebenzi yabo yetandla lesikubonile nje singidepartment ukuthi kulomsebenzi wabo wetandla laba lese bayile kuleto dimakethe labasuka kito noma leto dinhlangano seyingileyo vele leseyithuthuke kakhulu ngoba imicondweni yabo sekunalokuthi baboneni kuboza kwabo labasuka emaveni lehlukene kulomsebenzi wabo wetandla lokho ukuthi kuyabasita kakhulu sidepartment siwitnessile ichange lenkulu ekuthuthukeni kwalomsebenzi wetandla in terms of equality nasetindzabeni tawe ma standards.
Uthena uchaza makevila kade wachaza indzaba yekuthi anikhethi noma ngibani kunendzaba yekuthi there is a lack ku capacity building kunabo somabhizinisi labakhala ngekuthi mhlawumbe abakafundziseki kahle engabe niyaye nithi nanibuya mhlawumbe niyakhetha niyabona ukuthi okay lona usale khala kukhona yini indlela leniyenda kokwekuthi lona phela longakhona ikhamba ngoba yena usadzinga capacitator niyamsita yini naye ukuthi agcine afikile le India khona umsebenzi wakhe utawuchubeka phela naye ubonakale phindze uthuthuke.
Umbuto lomhle kakhulu yothathelwe njengoba utawuqaphela nje ukuthi na sihamba siyalendiya asihambi sibanengi kuhamba labancane kakhulu lonyaka nje kuhambela abangu7 kanti bakhiciti bemsebenzi wetandla eveni laKangwane banengi kakhulu lokusho ukuthi vele labo labahambile kusuka kuleto tinhlangano nababuya they share the information bayasherelana lolwati bafundzisane lokulaba kubonile le ekhambeni kuze leyo nhlangano ithuthuke department ke siphindze sikwentela ukuthi siphindze sibuyelele kibo sibe nekubavetela lokuthi sibuya nani leseyitaba bonke angibekise nje siye safunza ukuthi le market leya iyawafuna kakhulu ema toys kanithini la Kangwane babadi bethu basabuke kubada imigcwembe nasibuya sitawubabita sibe nabo babadi naku lesihambe sabuya nako lokusho ukuthi nathi nasingazama lokuthi nasenda le mikhicito yethu siwafake ema toys sikufake nalokunye lokho kuyakwenda ukuthi noma singikaye eNdiya lama tourist nakafika la ekhaya akhanze ukuthi letinfo tawo noma letinfo leto labatijabulelako tingileto letikhona kibo labakhiciti bemsebenzi wetandla meaning we disseminate le information nalo lwati lesibuya nalo ekuhambeni.
I was at the press conference Magezoto where the Minister of Commerce, Industry and Trade was welcoming lawo ma-artisans lebeka hambile aye kulombukiso. Ngiyaniva nithi niyafika niyabona ukuthi kwakhiwa ema-toys ngani naletinfo letinye lentibonile natifunza. Ngibuta nje Magezoto ukuthi ngabe in terms of diversification because we are going there to Lemela Crafts Fair. Kepha ke sesiniyafika niyakubona lokuleni kubonako niyabuya nithi nani nifuna kukwenda engabe angeke yini bese kubangela ukuthi siphindze nathi simikise lokulabanako noma ke lokulabakulethako labanye khona le ngesheya noma lokho sitakuthengisa khona la ngeKhatheveni sitawenda njani Makezodwa lapho
lesikwendako thina sibakhiciti noma ke bakhiciti impahla nasiyibona siyithanza asiyakhi njengoba injalo siyayibese sifaka imicondvo yethu letawuyenda ukuthi yehluke kulele siyebonile kejake sisebenzisa yona i-raw material yawukhanza ukuthi yinye keja lokhu yakha kwethu le product ngeke kufane naleya lesiyibonile lokho ukuthi still noma sibuya nayo le mikhicito lesiyibonele itawuphindze futhi ichubeke ithengiseke khona lela sitabe sibuyela nayo khona ngoba itabe ihlukile kunale yabo.
Uma kunembukelo ekhaya mhlambe lo wenda imikhicido yetemakhono uyakubona make Zodwa uyakhuluma uyatibuta mhlawumbe ukuthi engabe mina kuze kuthi ngifike kule trade fair lena yaseVenlandia engabe ngenda kanjani ngichumana nabani.
Njengoba ngivedile edzadzewethu ukuthi luhlangothi lwemsebenzi wetandla itiko letemabhizinisi linemahhovisi eveni lonke laKangwane. Sinemahhovisi eShiselweni, sinemahhovisi kaManzini, kaHoho nakhona eLibonjeni. Kunema-officers lele kunguwona ngithi anale database. Lokusho ukuthi nangabe kumbe bowusengikabi kumbe ligama lakho ukuthi kumbe watiwe ngemsebenzi wakho kulawa mahhovisi la eveni laKangwane. Lokusho ukuthi singakucela ukuthi usonzele kiwo uyokhona ukuthi uvete imisebenzi yakho yetandla ube nekubonakala nawe watiwe. Kanti futhi ke siphinze ngekusitwa nguye IPA lapha emavuso ngabo August siyayisibe nawo umbukiso. Kulona mbukiso wala ekhaya ke dzadzewethu ngikhona la sifike sikhone kuhlunga khona lemikhicido. Singayihlunga lo mkhicido sofake embukisweni sisho ukuthi umkhicido wakho shothi songilolo ongalimelela live khona lapho sigathe ukuthi ukhule lo mkhicido wakho uphindze uchubeke ubambe donati ema standards. Sesiyakhona ke kuthatha labo lesikhonile kubafaka lapha ukuthi kube ngibo lo khanzisa imkhicido yabo siyakhona kutsimelele in live asibuthi noma ngangibani ngathi siye market siyaciniseka lokuthi vele siyahlungisisa icala phinza icala ekuthene nomkhicido wakho khona engena Eswatini trade fair itase seyakhona ke ukuthi bese seyaphuma ke iyomelela live ngaphandle.
Uyibeka iyevakala make Zodwa, just because you are here I want you maybe to share with us some of the plans that you have for these small and medium enterprises. Engabe yini mhlawumbe lokunye lenifise ukuthi ni kwende nomeke lenikwendako kucinisekisa ukuthi lo hlangothi liyathuthuka lapha eveni. Sike sanibona nihlangene lapha eCodec nizama kuba sita bona bakhiciti betemakhono.
Kungumsebenzi walo luhlangothi lomsebenzi wetandla kucecesha noma ke kucapacitate bona bosomabhizinisi labenda umsebenzi wetandla sisitwa ngitotinini tenkosi. Lokho ukuthi sibuke ukuthi sitawuchubeka sibabambe etandla ekutheneni lena imisebenzi yabo ichubeke ibe ngileyo leba sezingeni leba ngilelo khona ukuthengiseka noma ukuphi noma uKangwane noma uphume nawo. Lokho ukuthi nje icapacity building ngiyo kanye lesibuke kakhulu ikakhulu ku product development ngoba vele sifuna lokuthi bakhe imisebenzi leyo latathi noma ngabe uyapi nawo kube kungukuthi vele ongiloyo lofike uhamba embili. Embukisweni wase-India dzadzewethu ngakuvetela ukuthi imisebenzi yelive yaKangwane yemsebenzi wetandla ingiloyo lefike idle libhethu lene ngalokuthi ingileyo lendiwe ngesandla bakujabulela kakhulu lokho lokuthi imisebenzi yethu yendiwe ngetandla kude emathulusi lamancane lesiwasebenzisile noma ke imishini kwendiwe ngetandla futhi ke kwendiwe ngato tihlahla temvelo delive la Kangwane kubajabulisa na kakhulu lokho lobe kubenda ukuthi bese sokhanza ukuthi sebayeta ngebinengi la stolini bato appreciate bato jabulela lena imisebenzi yethu lebe ihambe embili kakhulu i-beadwork. I-beadwork yethu ihlukile kunalala amanye imisebenzi yebuhlalu yalala amanye inaleti nje le unique lebe kwenda lokuthi bayijabulele kakhulu nalokunye ke lebe bakujabulela kakhulu kule beadwork ngule beadwork ye natural beads lokufaka ekhathe bomaputshutshu nani bayakuthanza kakhulu nako lokho ngeke lokunye bebakujabulela kakhulu lokusho ukuthi kuye kwasinika ke thine silihlangothi lomsebenzi wetandla ukuthi sibone ukuthi cha litiko liyasebenza impela ngoba nayi lemikhicido bayijabulela lokusho ukuthi seyiyadibamba lizinga letimakethe emhlaba.
Siyabonga kakhulu make Zodwa kuhlalisana nathi. Well mbukeli, there you have it, Eswatini making waves in the handicraft sector. Kanti ke mbukeli sitawuthatha yona i-break nasibuya lungelele Magagula utawuhlala phansi nayo i-Nedbank.
Digital helps you make cross-border payments. Human gives you global specialists. Digital allows you to apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Human connects you to credit experts. Digital puts you in control of your money, while Human connects you to wealth advisors. Digital allows you to freeze, unfreeze, cancel, and reorder your card. Human gives you that personal touch. Digital when you want it. Human when you need it. Get the complete private banking experience with Nedbank Private Clients.
right, welcome back. You're still watching Business Watch, powered by Nedbank. Today we're joined by Njabulo Kamete, who's the Manager Global Trade and Payments from Nedbank. Today we're talking about Nedbank Global Trade. A very good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us. Today we're talking about this very important service that, as Nedbank, you provide. Why do you provide the service, and who is eligible, to be provided with this service?
Good afternoon, Lulu, and thank you so much for having me. So I think maybe firstly would just to define what is this global trade, if I may. So global trade it's basically the buying and selling of goods and services between residents of Eswatini and the rest of the world. So this is a critical space for Nedbank clients, because there's a lot of buying and selling of goods between businesses of Eswatini and the rest of the world. So we see from our clients, essentially, they buy a lot of imports from outside the country, and we also have goods which they buy within the common monetary area, which is CMA, whereby there's free flow of funds, and then there's also trade outside the common monetary area, such that they import or export their products in as countries as far as China, your United States of America. So essentially, what we advocate for clients as Nedbank Eswatini is that we are trying to mitigate risk. So you find that you have clients who haven't established the relationship with their prospective sellers outside the country, and more especially countries as far as United States. You'll find that a client will get on Google trying to source a certain good and serve a good, and usually that's usually a risky part, because you find that the client cannot just make the payment with the hope of the seller supplying those goods and services. So primarily, that's where, as Nedbank, we play a pivotal role to secure those payments, to say, even if the relationship hasn't been established, if it's a first-time trade activity, we secure through our products, one in particular, it's the letter of credits. So we offer letters of credits, which is a payment solution for clients that are embarking on trade with their counterparts for the first time. So the letter of credit, how does it work? It's more of a contract which sets different conditions for the two parties to meet before this payment, before the payment can be executed. So it essentially ensures that the goods are delivered as per the standard, because you find that I will see those goods on the website of the seller, and then the letter of credit will prescribe on the standard on how the goods should be delivered, where the goods should be delivered, and also the mode of transport, also insurance, who take care of insurance during the transportation. So it essentially protects the two parties in terms of the buyer getting the product that they have requested from the supplier, and the supplier essentially getting payment upon supplying. So that's one of the major and important services that we offer as Nedbank for first time to secure the relationship in as far as trade is concerned.
Okay, so are you particular with the goods that the client buys or sells? Do you look into the goods, the type of goods that the client sells? Are you certain about any goods, or maybe they can just sell or buy any goods?
So primarily they can buy any goods, and I think as a matter of principle, we are also governed by so the buying and selling of goods between countries, essentially for Eswatini, we are governed by the exchange control manual. So as bank, for us to facilitate certain payments, we have to be governed. So each and every payment is prescribed in the exchange control manual. So I'll make an example. When a pharmaceutical company in Eswatini wants to import pharmaceutical products outside the CMA, they first have to produce, for us to facilitate that payment, they have to also submit an import permit, which is sourced from the Ministry of Finance. So it's one of the prerequisites, because as a bank, we are also governed or regulated by the central bank. But it's not every product that I'll make a mention of those that require import permits. The grey cars that we import from countries like Japan and countries like China. So also for us to also pay for those grey cars, the client has to submit the invoices and also the import permit, because we can't facilitate. That's what the law requires. Yeah, but some other goods you can, like I'll make an example of your just buying new clothes. If you are in the business of selling clothes, you can buy clothes from Japan without an import permit. Give us the invoice and we can facilitate the payment, and also machinery. Yes, but there are those that we have to go via. We have to request documentation. Yeah.
All right. So I know that anything that has to do with transactions comes with risks and benefits as well. So what are the risks, with buying globally, and how can your clients or Swazis protect themselves, from anything that can happen?
Regarding the risks that are involved, it's essentially it's the issue of non-payment. More especially from a situation of you have supplied certain goods and now you are anticipating payment as a seller. So those are some of the risks that are involved, and also whereby the quality of the goods as well. You see something online, you order it, and only to find that that's not the product you had initially ordered. So those are some of the risks, and also non-delivery. I pay, maybe I do an advance payment and I anticipate delivery of the goods, they are not paid ultimately. So those are some of the risks that are within the space. But as Nedbank, through our products, as I have mentioned earlier, your letters of credits, that one essentially safeguards against the non-payment and the non-delivery. And we also have foreign bills, which also facilitates for the credit line, whereby now the relationship has been established, so the seller can extend more credit to more leeway to pay maybe at a future date. So we have also the foreign bills for collection. Also, we do have credit facilities, whereby as Nedbank we also vet the client from a credit point of view, and then we can also maybe borrow that client in terms of facilitating their trade activity. So those are some of the products that we offer our clients, which we believe they make trade much more easier.
Okay. So is there a time frame or restrictions on the number of times I can use your service? The number of times you can help me secure a payment, safe payment, when I buy goods globally per month, for example?
Not really. It's primarily based on the appetite of, because we have big corporates whereby they rapidly do foreign exchange payments, and there's primarily no challenge in terms of
as long as my
documents are in order. Yeah, the prerequisite basically it's the documentation, but there are no limits to say you can't do this. You can only do this payment monthly, and then the following month, and especially more especially for trade transactions.
So do I need to provide you said it's a letter of credit every time I want to make a transaction, or you already have my data on your system?
We already have your data, because you with banks, with our bank ultimately we have your documents, whereby we know KYC, know your client information. So we have that, but it will be the letter of credit will be underscored based on the trade you're doing at that time. So we can basically facilitate for you at any time based on what you are transacting in.
All right. So how long do I need to be with Nedbank for me to access this particular service? I'm a first-time client. I've been with you guys for a month, and suddenly I deposit an amount of 10 million, for an example. Do you look into that?
If your funds
in case of fraud cases, and this is instances of fraud cases.
If your funds are in order, because as I mentioned earlier, we do your KYC, whereby we know our clients, their source of funds. So if all that is in order, you have been vetted accordingly, then there will be no challenge in terms of us coordinating and facilitating your payments.
All right, Njabula, talk to us about investment opportunities that are there within Nedbank.
Within Nedbank. Okay, so from a global point of view, we also have an individual investment allowance, which is a dispensation by the central bank for individual clients. So for individual clients who have the appetite to invest outside the CMA, which is the Common Monetary Area, they can invest in as far as 10 million. So this is a breakthrough for our clients, because initially the investment allowance was 4 million. So the central bank recently increased it to the 10 million. So our clients can enjoy that 10 million, which is within one calendar year from January to December. So they have 10 million to invest to any investment of their liking. I think just the underlying documentation will be to have a clear source of funds, and then to have an SRA, a tax clearance. Like that, yeah.
All right. So lastly, how can people contact you, if they want more information on this particular service?
Okay, so they can contact us through our help desk at nedbank.co.nz, and also our contact numbers. We also have our contact number, which is it's 3278 1999, and also 3278 it's 1290. They can also contact us on those
And
numbers.
social media, of course.
Social media, it's Nedbank Eswatini. We're available on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. They can also interact. We can feel free where we have the appetite to answer any question as far as global trade is concerned.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Njabula, for joining us. There you have it, global trade with Nedbank. If you want more information, do contact Nedbank or visit their service centers to get more information, and contact them via the social media pages. Let's take a break. We'll come back just shortly.
Welcome back. The Embassy of the United States of America has commended Eswatini for meeting the requirement of the African Growth Opportunity Act. This has been said by the economic officer at the embassy, Christopher Wall, during a sit-down interview on opportunities available for Eswatini businesses under the Act.
On January 18, 2001, Eswatini was designated as the 35th AGOA-eligible country. The American embassy says Eswatini is faring well in meeting the requirements.
We're really proud that Eswatini has remained eligible for AGOA in 2024. It's a program that requires that countries make continual progress on things like developing a market-based economy, combating corruption, lowering barriers to trade, and protecting labor and human rights. And so, while those requirements are stringent, we also think that they're things that really benefit the country itself. I mean, those are things that make a country attractive for investment. So we think that continual progress and working on these issues will make Eswatini a really attractive investment destination in the future.
Other requirements for AGOA include countries in the sub-Saharan Africa making continual progress towards establishing a rule of law and the right to due process, amongst others. For Business Watch, Nelson Dlangamandla, Vumenkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
All right, let's welcome now Sibia through a video link to get a reaction really on what Christopher Wall has really alluded to regarding AGOA. Mr. Sibia, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the program. Mr. Wall there speaking on some of the requirements being stringent, but not shying away from, and he's being frank on the fact that we need to comply to these requirements really for Eswatini to really reap the benefits that come with AGOA. My question then becomes, how significant is it for Eswatini to meet the requirements of AGOA, and what does it mean for the country's businesses and economy?
Thank you, Nomado, for having me, and good afternoon to the viewers. So, as you know, as a country, we are trying to find opportunities of growth and new levers for growth so that we can really spread towards the 5% growth target and really just push towards growing an economy that creates jobs. So we do need every other opportunity that grants us access to markets and access to the potential to expand our product offering as a country, in terms of diversifying the economy. Because as would say, we get a lot of people into the value chain. So this is a very market moment for the kingdom, and that's one bottom-up business they need to take and run with it, because what you find under AGOA is the fact that we get preferential tariffs when you go into the Western markets, into the US markets. What that does is it has a way of really making our commodities competitive in that market, so that is called an Astrogo penetrator, which is one of the markets that has a burgeoning consumer spend. So every other producer that produces always wants to penetrate the American market. It's always one of those that we are looking out for. We always want to get into those. So this is an opportunity that we need to take as a country and run with it, and really just make familiarize with Lamam product lines that we can actually tap into, and then we need to see opportunities into which one of those 6,000 product lines that each business can actually just really tap into. And what is interesting about these product lines is most of them are basically agri, which is something that we are dealing with as a country. So there is quite a lot of scope that we can tap into as a country. And however, we do need to also invest in what we call your phytosanitary requirements, making sure that we do have the laboratories and every other thing that we need to test our commodities before they go into the US market. Because yes, and as much as you do have AGOA, but still other in terms of your health and hygiene, so we don't transfer kugula across borders.
All right. Now, thank you, Mr. Sibia. That was concise. I do want to just take a moment here to apologize to the viewer. We are facing a bit of challenges with our connection, so yeah, it may be inconsistent there and there, but we pretty much get the gist of everything that you are saying, Mr. Sibia. Speaking on the opportunities, could you provide examples maybe of specific opportunities that are available for Eswatini businesses under the African Growth Opportunity Act?
No, when one looks at the product list, it's a very comprehensive product list ranging from agri, which is, your bovine meat. And, as a country, we do actually have one of the best organic products in terms of agri products. However, now when you look at what is happening with EMA commodities, and when we look at what's happening with the likely outbreak of Mkonyana or the black leg, so it's all of those things that we need to make sure that as a country that we've taken those into consideration. And then there's also the one child that has always benefited, the one product that we've always supplied into the AGOA market, which was textiles. I think when I looked through the list, it's still there, and then that means there is potential yet again for that sector, and we might actually find ourselves delving and being able to attract FDI to come back into the country. The FDI that we had lost to Lesotho due to our non-compliance in yesteryears, but now that we are complying, we are putting that freight to actually really just be in a position to re-attract that FDI.
It's quite interesting. 6,700 duty-free products under this act, and yet Eswatini is only leveraging these very few, ones that you've highlighted from, sugar, textile, and now we've heard about Bopelepele and all of that. I wonder, how can we really just make sure that we leverage at the very least, 20% of these products?
What one requires is, like we're saying, investing in the critical enabling infrastructure that would allow our people domestically to be able to access those markets. So we need to make sure that we invest in the right tech in terms of our testing infrastructure. We need to make sure we invest in the right tech so that we are able to just expand the product offering. We just need to make sure that we have the testing services, because when we did the study at some point, one of the things that we found was that's the major hindrance, the lab equipment and the lab that are going to be accredited by the National Standards Authority to say, once we've tested it in Eswatini, it's free of, let's say, salmonella, then we are sure that it's free of salmonella. So we do need to invest in that infrastructure as a country, and then also just support our local businesses, just to grow them to a point where they could literally get to an export market rather than one that produces for a domestic market. So we really do need to continue and ramp up the initiatives that we are doing as a country in terms of export promotion strategies, make that one, the export guarantee scheme, make it accessible to Eswatini so that we can really just expand our businesses. And we need to continue doing, we've seen a lot of cold storeroom projects coming up in the country. Again, we need to really just delve into those so that we are able to make sure that when we send perishables in those categories, they're able to get to the US in a crisp shape.
Interesting how important the point of standardization and standards is when it comes to export trade. And one wonders, because obviously there is that hindrance. How much of a hindrance is trade finance? We've seen the Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority recently, workshopping traders on trade finance, bringing in as well stakeholders that allow for, these traders to access trade finance. How essential is that right now, and would it expedite the processes of us leveraging the African Growth Opportunity Act?
Yes, that's one of the critical enablers that we need to actually expand as a country, make sure that trade finance is readily, and more so, it's not about the financing being there. It's also about the accessibility. So that means we need to make sure that when we are profiling our companies, we need to know the type of companies that we have, and then really just put them against those standards and see if they would actually be able to access the trade finance. So that's what we need to do as a country, make sure that we understand the bottlenecks that our companies face and then assist them through those. A case in point would be like, the export guarantee scheme that we've spoken of. Not a lot of companies are able to really just access that scheme. It's not the fact that the financing is not there. It is an issue of our companies at the level at which those financing modalities can actually absorb them and grant them the financing that they need. So we need to make sure that we capacitate our producers to be at that level.
Mr. Sibiya, thank you so much for providing your insights yet again today on Business Watch. We really appreciate everything that you have, shed light on today. That is the end of our segment with you today. I also just want to, speak to the viewer real quick and encourage our traders to really look into all these opportunities and all these workshops that are there. It has been emphasized enough that trade is the lifeblood of our economy in Eswatini, and we should leverage it, especially this year. Let's go for a net break. We return with our market analysis.
Digital helps you make cross-border payments. Human gives you global specialists. Digital allows you to apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Human connects you to credit experts. Digital puts you in control of your money, while Human connects you to wealth advisors. Digital allows you to freeze, unfreeze, cancel, and reorder your card. Human gives you that personal touch. Digital when you want it. Human when you need it. Get the complete private banking experience with Nedbank Private Clients.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 76222000 or dial *007 *3 *7 hash. Or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any Nedbank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
Welcome back. You're still watching Business Watch powered by Nedbank. We are now joined by Toba Kamete, who's the Sales and Treasury and Sales Manager at Nedbank, to give us an analysis on our markets today. Very good afternoon, Toba. Thank you for joining us once again. We were expecting inflation numbers to be released today. What effect will that have on our indicators? And also, it has been confirmed that there is no data today that has been released in SA. What does this mean?
Thank you, Lulu, and good afternoon to you and your viewers. As you've rightfully said, we are expecting inflation numbers to come out of the US today, where for March, that is March 2024. The market is just waiting to see what that print is going to look like for indications of what the Fed is likely to do with its interest rates going forward. The market is pricing in a 0.3% increase month on month to 3.4%. So if that print then comes out higher than that, then it will mean that rates are likely to be higher for longer. But if it comes out then better than that, lower than the 3.4, then it might mean that we are closer to rate cuts than we anticipate.
Okay, so let's take a look at the dollar against lilangeni ukuthi litrade kanjani lamuhla, and also the euro and pound. Sibona ukuthi ama indicators athini. The dollar is trading at 18 amalangeni 49 cents. What do these figures mean?
So it means that as you can see, it's green, which means that the rand is getting a bit of strength. It has been a good week for the rand this week. On Monday, in SA, they released foreign reserves numbers, which were higher than expected. Tomorrow, we expect gold and mining, manufacturing and production numbers. So it's been a good week for the rand, but I think, as I've said, it's most markets are looking to see what the inflation number out of the US is going to be. But essentially, these are levels that we haven't seen in a while. So it means our clients who are importing or that is who are buying foreign currency can take advantage of the levels that we're seeing now.
Okay, so let's move on to the performance of equities. I saw on the news that the 9 out of 11 sectors performed well and the share price went up today. Tell us more about that.
All right, so that is the S&P 500. So 9 out of 11 of the sectors, they performed well yesterday. I think the leader was real estate, and lagging behind was the financial sector, which investors are sort of just waiting to see what the inflation is going to look like. They are also waiting to see the financial performance, because we are approaching financial reporting for the major banks in the US starting from this Friday. So I think investors into financial stocks are sort of looking at seeing what those prints are going to come out as and the performance of those banks that they're investing in.
Okay. And when we look at our commodities, gold, I also saw that the gold price went up as well. Is that good news? What effect will that have on the share price?
Right. So gold, yes, you're right, has gone up, trading at $2,359 and 65 cents. So it's mainly due to the inflation pressures that we're seeing, as well as emerging market central banks diversifying their risk and buying gold to increase their holdings, because gold is considered a safe haven metal.
All right, thank you so much. And Nasboga crude oil, those figures, what do they indicate?
Thank you, Lulu. Oil is the price of Brent crude oil is up 0.1%, at $89.43 per barrel. So these basically is due to the conflict that we are continue to see rather in the Middle East, and in as much as there is increased inventories in the US, but I think the uncertainty that comes with the conflict in the Middle East sort of gives an impression that flows or produce from oil going forward are likely to be disturbed in a way. So that pushes the price of oil up.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Toba, for that analysis. It's 2 minutes before 3 o'clock. Especially market, and then we'll come and wrap up the show with Sfiso.
Digital helps you make cross-border payments. Human gives you global specialists. Digital allows you to apply for a loan anytime, anywhere. Human connects you to credit experts. Digital puts you in control of your money, while Human connects you to wealth advisors. Digital allows you to freeze, unfreeze, cancel, and reorder your card. Human gives you that personal touch. Digital when you want it. Human when you need it. Get the complete private banking experience with Nedbank Private Clients.
And that is it. We've come to the end of our program today. Business Watch powered by Nedbank Eswatini. Do join us again tomorrow for our programs. But we want you to stay at Eswatini TV still to enjoy all these other programs that we have for you. From myself and Lungalela, it's a goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Make better money choices. Choose a bank that takes your money seriously. Business Watch was brought to you by Nedbank.